Hey everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Welcome to another episode of Lift and Sketch with Christy and Rachel. A couple of things. First, this is going up quite late, simply because I was having issues with my voiceovering portion of my editing video. It was completely off kilter, so nothing I could do about it. If it goes this way again, I'm just going to have it as is, and you're going to have to deal with it being off kilter. Second of all, I've had so many troubles that I'm doing this up in my bedroom. It's a little bit more echoey up here, and Xanthi has decided to join us, so if you hear meowing, I apologize. Also, you may note I am not in my normal spot. I went to a crop in the middle of November and I taped everything, and so this particular video will be the first one you guys see from my crop. The shadows are a bit much, but unfortunately there isn't really anything I can do about it. I definitely think it is seeable, so I think we're good to go. Now I am working with a Felicity Jane kit I actually put together myself. So it's actually a mashup of several different kits. And you're probably like, wow, I can't believe you left in all of that gessoing. Well, I knew I'd have some explaining to do and stuff, so I did. Funny enough though, I am not going to be using that yellow paper as my background. No worries, I do end up using it later in the crop. So what I'm doing now is I'm choosing some watercolors that are going to go behind the hand cut letters that are in Kira's layout. So we are doing a scrap lift of Kira. Now, if you watch both Christy and I, you may notice we did a little mix up of when the sketch was due and when the lift was due. And, somehow we got our wires crossed. So this week she is doing the sketch and I am doing the lift. And 2 weeks ago we had switched it. So what I figured out was that, hi, if you're using watercolors that are light rather than dark, they're not going to show up on the yellow piece of pattern paper. So instead, I swapped it for this white piece of cardstock, and now all I'm doing is drawing letters backwards on the pattern paper I'm going to use to cut them out. So I'm choosing a 4-letter word, as did Kira. Now mine are slightly bigger, so my letters are going to overlap, and they're going to run horizontally from end to end. So what I'm going through, and I'm cutting in and out of these letters. I'm writing them backwards on the back of the pattern paper, then I'm cutting them out then I'm going around that with a bubble style of writing, and then I'm cutting them out, and then I'm inking them up with hickory smoke ink. So I did the S, and now you're going to see me cut away from doing the W and moving on to the A, and I'm going to pull out a self-healing cutting mat, and this is not mine. So big thanks to Trina for lending me this so I could cut out the center of my A. And then we're going to jump ahead again, and all of a sudden you're going to notice I've also cut out a G. So to go with the 4 colors of pattern paper, I picked out 4 colors of the creamies that came in that set. Well, it didn't come as a set. These are from Shimmers, and you can pick your own colors, and you pick 10 colors of either creamies or inklings, and you kind of make your own watercolor set. So I chose a yellow to go with the yellow, a light pink to go with the light pink, and then a greenish color to go with that aqua. And then I'm going to add another color to that. And then for gray, rather than gray, I chose to go with a blue. There's blue in the photo and there's blue in the pattern papers, and I wanted to bring that blue in. So I chose to go more of tones of colors rather than everything being the exact same. So I went ahead and matted my photo with that banner piece. I'm just doing a little bit. Like I said, I wanted that blue to be prevalent. So now I'm taking these creamies, and I really should have pre-sprayed them and let them sit in the container, but I did not. I just swished it around in there, so there is not enough pigment on my brush to get the look I was going for. So I had to go back, and that's fine. You know, you keep going until you get to where you want. I really wanted it to be messy. I wanted you to be able to see the brush strokes. So I'm just lining up my letters at the bottom. Mine are not going to be as perfect as Kira's were, where the colors matched up perfectly with her letters. Mine are definitely going to be more of a loosey-goosey style, and that's just basically I'm too lazy to do it other ways. So you'll see here now this green is Jolly Green Giant, and it's too green for the aqua. So I go back into the creamies, and I have one that's more of a mint color, and I just kind of layer that over the green while it's still wet, and it's close enough. It's not perfect. I don't have an aqua colored creamies. I do have a mist that's aqua, Jenny B Blue, but the creamies don't really have a ton of shimmer to them, whereas the Vibes has a lot of shimmer, and I didn't want to do that with just one color. I then would have had to add the same colors to all of them, and it just wasn't something I wanted to do. Those colors do come into play later in the layout, but just not right now. Now the pink I'm using is quite a light pink, so I'm really trying to lay down quite a bit of color, quite a bit, not using as much water with the pink, and this gets me in trouble when I switch over to the yellow because I try to do the same thing. I try to get up a lot of color to lay down on that yellow, forgetting it's a really bright yellow. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really bright. Water, water, I need water like now. I was going, oh my goodness, that's really much brighter than any of the other colors. So in the end, it works out. I really like the way it looks. But before I finish the mixed media portion of my layout, I'm going to go ahead and add these 4 vibes, and they are Deep Blue Sea, Jenny B Blue, Pink Moscato, and Tuscan Sun. I don't necessarily know the names of the creamies. If you really want to know a certain color, drop me a comment below and I will go and look at what they are. I use my mists so much more than my creamies that they're just colors, the names I'm much more familiar with. You're going to see as I move on through these videos at the crop that my tablecloth ends up looking something like an early work of Jackson Pollock. I was told not to concern myself by Heather because she had spoken to the staff and they said they were going to bleach all the tablecloths, so don't worry about making a mess. So thank you. And also Kathy made much of a bigger mess than I did, so I felt better on 2 fronts. Okay, so you can see the Tuscan Sun does not show as much simply because that yellow is such a bright color, but I'm okay with that. I'm happy with the way it's looking. I cut ahead because now everything is dry, and I'm using a new glue. It's called Art Glitter Clear Glue. The company name is Art Glitter. It is clear glue. It is not glitter glue. I believe its original intention was to be a glue for glitter, so that is why it's called Art Glitter, the company. So I got this on Amazon, and the things I like about it are that it's a liquidier glue, so it does not dry as fast as the quick dry Scotch tacky glue. So it's really great for sequins. It's really great for wood veneer. It's really great for cut files when you're trying to back things. So it definitely has a longer drying time. So, you know, depending on what you're going for, that is definitely something to consider if this might be a better glue for you. It does have a precision tip that on Amazon, mine came with it, but I believe you can also buy it without. And when I put my photo down, as you can see, I did use a mix of ATG and liquid glue. Anytime I use gesso, that's what I do, because in the long term, the ATG does not like to stick on gesso, but in the short time, the liquid glue needs time to dry before it becomes permanent. So now I've pulled out a bunch of my embellishments. As I said, it's a mix of Felicity Jane from different monthly kits. I am not a subscriber of hers. I just tend to buy pieces, paper packs, and then 1 to 2 embellishments from each line when they go on super duper sale. So like Kira's layout, I'm choosing color specific embellishments to go with each letter's color story. So I'm choosing the yellow word happy. Oh, and I'm using my tiny attacher, which I almost always forget to use. So I was super happy with myself. I also attached that file tab to the top of the photo using the tiny attacher. Now, you'll see that's where the letter G overlaps into the pink. So I was, saying, well, I can use the pink because the paint behind it is pink. I'm going to later find a yellow file tab, but I didn't want to accidentally rip the photo, so I'm just going to leave it as the pink. I'm going to choose to embellish with blue ephemera pieces on the gray letter S rather than gray, just to bring some more color in. So I have that outline of a puffy heart and then the little journaling tab, and I just wrote Six Flags 2000, and I couldn't remember at the time if it was 2006 or 2007. It is 2007, and so I just write 200, and I'm gonna fill it in before I put it away. So I'm looking for a couple more embellishments, and I find these wood veneer. These are actually from a hip kit. They're a hip kit exclusive that I purchased when I bought a grab bag box from them over, I want to say Labor Day. It might have been Labor Day. I'm not 100% sure. So I was iffy on that larger pink flower, but I like it tucked behind the top of the photo there. It also brings out the pink Moscato mist that's going on in the background. I'm going to use a Stampin' Up! Dimensional just to, because of that wood veneer, it lifted the photo up and I didn't want it to accidentally get caught in anything because I was going to be flying back with these. So I'm going to add some enamel dots, and here's where I make a mistake. Now, in the long run, it doesn't matter. It's just one of those things where after I finished, I was kind of like, oh, you idiot. When I'm putting these down, and see, the thing is, because of the gesso, I'm going to reinforce them with the glue. So they are stuck there. So as you can see, I've added the enamel dots to the top of my letter A and to the top of my letter W, and then I'm going to add them to the top of my letter S. And then once I finish the 3 of those, I'm going to add them to the bottom of my letter G. I wish with anything that I had either put the enamel dots at the top of the letter G, or I had put the ones either for the A or the W at the bottom there, because I think it would have balanced better. In the long run, it's not a big deal. It just annoyed me once I finished. I'm almost done with this layout, so while I take an inordinate amount of time ripping a piece of washi tape, I'm going to say make sure you head on over to Christy's channel, check out her layout, the one she released this week, which is of the sketch we did, and then also the one she did of this lift, which was released 2 weeks ago. So I'll just put a link to her channel, and that way you can check out both. Once I finish this, I am going to go ahead and do my journaling just to the left of where I'm putting the washi tape. This is a cute little story. We had gone to Six Flags, and we were going somewhere, and we were going through the game section, and the game guy thought it would be cute to do a disembodied voice because he wasn't viewable to my nephew, and so he just said hello there from behind a curtain, and my nephew burst into tears, and he, just like scared himself, and the guy was so terrified that he ended up giving this little Bugs Bunny stuffed animal to my nephew, which of course then dried all the tears, and it was all smiles from that point forward. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super amazingly awesome. Have a great day, everyone. Don't forget to check out Christy's channel. All right, folks, that's going to be it for today. Bye.